answer questions, there's something to hide.
No, Madam Supervisor, we are not brainwashed. We are fed up.
Last year, a Fox 32 investigation showed how that detail is taking officers off the street and costing taxpayers thousands of dollars in overtime.
Wrong is wrong, and there's a time to hold people responsible and accountable for their actions.
Over the past few months, Tiffany Henyard has gone from being the most infamous mayor to practically vanishing. And oh boy, the drama just keeps getting juicier. Word on the street? She's pulled a full-on Houdini, going underground to erase her trail. But let's be real, how long can she really stay off the radar before the feds start closing in? It looks like her reign of chaos is finally falling apart, and we're all just sitting back with popcorn waiting for the next chapter. Is she running from the law, or is she just laying low to avoid the heat? One thing's for sure, Tiffany's got a lot of explaining to do, and we're all on the edge of our seats for the big reveal. Let's dive into it. It's pretty clear that the people of Dalton have had enough of Tiffany Henyard, and now it seems like the Board of Trustees has caught on and is finally ready to give her a taste of her own medicine. Tiffany's always made it clear that she only values one opinion, her own. So when she called for a town meeting the other day, guess what? Not a single member of the board bothered to show up.
Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard wanted the Board of Trustees to approve some events that she wants the township to pay for, but none of the trustees showed up for this special meeting.
Tiffany, as shamelessly determined as ever, didn't let the snub get to her. Oh no, she took the stage and turned it into her own personal soap opera, claiming that all this talk about corruption was just a huge propaganda plot to ruin her oh-so-glorious reign. This is my statement. If you don't want to hear it, there's the door. This is not a Q&A. This is me setting the record straight for the people of Thornton Township, she declared. But the residents, tired of her theatrics, weren't having it. They interrupted her speech shouting, "We already know you're stealing from us." Yet this did nothing to faze Tiffany, who continued her rant as if nothing happened. That's what all the hate is about. Your super mayor became too powerful, too fast, I'm so rare, so unique, and that's why everyone's got a problem. It's all about control. But, let's be honest, Tiffany Henyard's troubles go far beyond bad press. They involve some seriously shady spending. Country folks are starting to raise eyebrows at how she's been spending taxpayer money, especially Thornton Township and Doolin funds, all while playing mayor. WGN Investigates recently blew the lid off her spending spree. After some legal back and forth to access credit card records, they uncovered that Tiffany and her team racked up a staggering $67,000, and in travel expenses, in just 5 months, all charged to the township's account. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, they dug deeper. Add in what she billed Dalton residents, and that total shoots past $100,000, But Tiffany's excuse? Oh, she claimed she and her entourage were attending conferences. Yeah, right, Tiffany. More like indulging in her own diva fantasies. For months, Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration played a game of hide and seek with Dalton's spending records, completely ignoring state transparency laws. Despite Illinois Attorney General Kwame Rael stepping in and demanding the village release the documents, Tiffany and her allies dug their heels in, refusing to cooperate. That is, until WG's parent company decided to take matters into their own hands, filing a lawsuit in Cook County Circuit Court. Guess what? The judge wasn't having any of Tiffany's games. The court ordered Dalton to release page after page of documents, exposing months of credit card statements from July to November 2023. Those records revealed Tiffany and her team living large first-class flights, luxury hotel stays, and even splurging on Uber Eats, all on the taxpayer's dime. Dalton trustee Tammy Brown, who's part of a group of board members publicly opposed to Henyard, revealed that she hadn't seen these statements, despite numerous requests. It's clear that while the key players know the truth, Henyard's camp is trying to keep it from the public, likely because they know it would spark outrage. When you see things like this, it's just a punch in the gut, Brown said. She hid it from us because we would have definitely had questions. Last January, WGN Investigates exposed Henyard and her team's lavish spending, revealing that over $67,000 and was charged to township credit cards for out-of-town travel in just 5 months of 2023. But wait, it gets even juicier. A deeper dive into Dalton's credit card statements uncovered another $33,900 and charged to taxpayers for those very same trips to New York, Atlanta, Portland, and beyond. One of the biggest jaw-droppers? A 5-day spending spree in Austin, Texas, in July 2023. Tiffany, her right-hand man Keith Freeman, and 3 township officials managed to rack up a jaw, dropping $220,000 and in taxpayer money. The receipts show a casual $111,000 and at the swanky Fairmont Austin Hotel, $389 and on steaks at Ruth's Chris, $53 and on sports riding apparel, and even $413 and at Walgreens. Seriously, nothing says essential governance like shopping sprees and steak dinners on the taxpayer's dime. And that's not all. The credit card charges also included $4,734 and at stores like Walmart and Target, $1,425 and on Amazon, $59 and on Uber Eats and local restaurants, and a whopping $3,491 and for Henyard's personal photographer. The Village also released records regarding Henyard's luxury vehicles. 3 lease agreements reportedly signed by her revealed that these SUVs cost residents over $374,000, and I don't know about you, but it seems like Tiffany was living like a princess. When questioned about her lavish spending, she said,
Handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
Turns out Tiffany Henyard had some police muscle on her payroll who would harass villagers if they dared to speak out. But now that she's fighting alone, the tides are turning. Her former assistant, Carmen Corral, has decided to blow the whistle. Today I'm breaking my silence, she said. I'm speaking out against Thornton Township Supervisor and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who I believe has engaged in unethical and predatory behavior throughout her time in office. For the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents, using her position to increase her influence while painting a picture of success funded by the hard-working taxpayers of Thornton Township and the village of Dalton. Carmen explained that she trusted the administration and that she's standing up, not just for herself, but for others who have been impacted by what she sees as Henyard's abusive leadership. I believe there are many more victims who have been retaliated against, fired, or lied to by Henyard, but have yet to come forward, Carmen said. She added that she decided to speak up because she wants Tiffany held accountable for her actions. My decision to come forward reflects my commitment to transparency, fairness, and accountability within the township. I encourage others to speak out as well. We can't let this behavior continue unchallenged. It's time we demand better for our community and stand together against those who abuse their power. Naturally, Tiffany didn't take too kindly to Carmen's newfound courage. At the meeting, she mocked her, saying, I think I'm going to give you a new nickname, Lie in Carlisle. I'm tired of everyone in here, there always has to be a show. Honestly, it's rich coming from Henyard, who is the very embodiment of corruption at this point. To make matters worse, Tiffany tried to shift the blame for her extravagant spending onto Carmen, claiming that she should have spoken up before the mess got out of hand. At the end of the day, you were on this board, we never talked about this, you should have brought this same energy when you weren't saying a word a year ago, months ago. Someone really needs to give Tiffany a reality check. It seems like she still thinks she can waltz away from this scandal unscathed, but that's clearly a major misunderstanding. They'd better catch her fast because it looks like she's already gone into hiding. The drama took another turn when former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed that Tiffany had dragged Dalton into financial ruin due to her reckless spending. The village of Dalton is now facing a financial crisis, with over $3.05 million missing from its coffers thanks to Tiffany Henyard's alleged misuse of village funds. Lightfoot, who agreed to lead the investigation back in April, is no stranger to these kinds of cases. She's a former federal prosecutor, and with the feds now sniffing around Henyard's shady dealings, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes to light. During a special village meeting packed with concerned residents, Lightfoot laid out the shocking findings, causing the crowd to gasp in disbelief. "We've worked very diligently under difficult circumstances to gather as much information as we could to share with you," Lightfoot said. The investigation into the village's financial records revealed that, as of May 31, 2024, Dalton's general fund was in the red by a jaw-dropping $3.65 million. It was clear that without proper checks in place, Henyard and her administration had thrown any semblance of fiscal responsibility out the window, leaving the community in financial turmoil. The federal investigation began after the Board of Trustees passed a resolution calling for a federal probe into Henyard's alleged corruption. 4 of the 6 members of the Dalton Village Board attended a meeting and celebrated when the resolution passed. Trustee Kiana Belcher, speaking up about the mismanagement of funds, said, "We just want clarity so we can move forward and understand what's going on with all the spending." Bert Olson, the legislative counsel for the Dalton Board of Trustees, added, "It's a deadly sin to lose 6 of your police cars. When you lose police cars, you lose police officers too," but she chose to keep paying for her own security detail. In response, Trustee Chris Gonzalez recently proposed a plan to put a cap on Tiffany's spending, saying, "If the administration can't stick to financial limits, we're not looking to cut things, but if you're going to make decisions that benefit the administration instead of the people, that's your call." When that ordinance passed, Tiffany's services to the township ground to a halt. And as expected, she threw a dramatic fit, claiming the town couldn't even get supplies for Bingo Monday, much less ice cream for the seniors at their social event in Calumet City. No ice cream sounds like a real emergency, right? But the hits keep coming for Tiffany. Her empire is teetering on the edge, and the latest blow comes from her once loyal ally, L.S. Lacey, the former deputy police chief of Dalton. Lacey isn't just in hot water, he's practically boiling. He's now facing a federal indictment, slapped with charges ranging from bankruptcy fraud to making false statements and perjury. The former deputy chief is accused of hiding assets and income to dodge creditors and settle a lawsuit. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Illinois, it seems like Lacey was living out a real-life crime drama, but this isn't Hollywood. The feds say Lacey went to extreme lengths to cover up his finances, lying about his income, and even pretending to be separated from his spouse. And guess who was watching his back throughout all of this? None other than Tiffany Henyard. Lacey, who's been an outspoken supporter of the embattled mayor, has been caught in a storm of scandals. From weaponizing police raids to blowing taxpayer money on Las Vegas luxuries, Tiffany's misdeeds seem to be multiplying by the day.
The second close ally of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard to be indicted on federal bankruptcy fraud. And the lawyer tonight for Deputy Chief Louis Lacey tells me this is all part of prosecutors' strategy to get them.
It seems Lacey's lawyer is trying to spin this whole mess into some kind of elaborate plot to take down Tiffany Henyard. But let's be real. When you're buried this deep in your own lies, the "I'm a victim" act doesn't hold up. Lacey's lawyer insists his client is innocent, claiming the feds are only targeting him to build a case against Henyard. But let's not kid ourselves, Lacey's facing up to 45 years in prison if convicted. As the walls close in, Tiffany's reign, once seemingly untouchable, is now looking more like a fragile house of cards ready to come crashing down. The indictment paints a damning picture. Lacey filed for bankruptcy in 2019 after a plaintiff tried to enforce a settlement agreement accusing him of still owing $43,000 and of a $55,000 in settlement. Not learning his lesson, he filed another bankruptcy petition in 2020, adding to the charges. But it gets worse. Lacey didn't just bend the truth, he shattered it. he made false claims, hiding crucial information in his bankruptcy cases. His web of deceit even extended to lying about being separated from his spouse, denying that she lived with him or contributed to his income or mortgage. Meanwhile, signs of Tiffany's incompetence were becoming impossible to ignore. At the annual meeting, a 23-year-old South Holland resident urged township leaders to foster civic engagement by taking actions that show good faith, like making information accessible. You say you want us to be civically engaged, you say you want us to show up and be present at these meetings, but from my first meeting at Thornton Township, it feels like actions are being taken that harm the citizens of this township, he said. Another resident, Gis Watts, responded to comments Tiffany made about voters rejecting a mental health referendum that would have raised taxes in the township. We are not brainwashed, we are fed up. Nobody said we didn't think mental health was important, we just don't trust you to fix it. It's clear why Tiffany didn't want residents to have a say in her decisions. She's been making choices that benefit her, not the people. The residents weren't having it though. This is not attacking you as a black woman. I've always been held accountable for my performance and results, and I expect the same of you, one resident called out. Henyard's administration has become a hotbed of controversy, and the courtroom drama surrounding her would rival any primetime legal show. From claims of wrongful termination by former employees to accusations of favoritism and unfair business practices, the legal battles keep stacking up. One particularly scandalous lawsuit names Tiffany Henyard alongside Dalton Village trustee Andrew Holmes, filed by a Dalton police officer who once served on her security detail, as well as a former staffer. It doesn't stop there. Another lawsuit alleges that Dalton officials improperly denied a local barber shop owner a business license in what looks like a small-town power play. And then there's the explosive case from Dwayne Thrash, a former maintenance manager in Dalton. According to Thrash, one of Tiffany's close associates approached him in 2023 with a suspicious plan to replace the school board's attorney with a firm favored by Henyard's inner circle. When Thrash refused to participate in the scheme, things quickly went south. The lawsuit claims that while Thrash was on an approved vacation, he was abruptly fired on flimsy accusations of unsatisfactory work performance and insubordination. Since Tiffany Henyard became mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township, she and her allies, including Keith Freeman, have been terminating anyone they see as a political threat to her image or those who defy their wishes. With all these lawsuits and the federal probe revelations, things are looking grim for Henyard. Word on the street is Tiffany might be looking for a backdoor escape route to vanish into thin air. If the recent events are any indication, Tiffany is going to have to face the consequences of her actions. Fans of the saga believe she's become a danger to the village. The only threat in that room was the mayor herself, one resident said. At this point, resigning isn't enough. She needs to be arrested, prosecuted, and thrown in prison with the rest of her corrupt administration. She's a disgrace to the people of Dalton and to America. That's all for today. If you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos just like this.